Mr. Anand Mahindra, Vice Chairman and Managing Director of M&amp, joins us on the show now to talk about that and more. Thanks so much for joining in, Mr. Mahindra. You've been selected as the preferred bidder by Ssangyoung. Is this, in a way, an inflection point for M&amp as an auto company?
Well, that's the exact quote I gave at the press conference, so I should charge you for IPR theft for using the phrase. But yes, I completely agree with you. I think this is going to help us ramp up our global ambitions. And as you know, our stated ambition is to be a globally recognized player in the SUV and utility vehicles area. So we believe this investment will allow us to dramatically ramp up our capability for selling on a global basis. They have 1,300 dealers, and they have a recognized brand name in the variety of countries that they operate in. So yes, this is an inflection point for us. Yes, you know, the fact is that we have always said that our strategic posture is to be big players within the niche of utility vehicles. Now, you know, I'm very accustomed over the past many years to have skeptics come in and tell us that either we would not be able to survive given our lack of scale, or that the SUV space would not survive, or that, and particularly after last year, that the SUV industry as a whole was going to decline. As you know, we are still up. Our sales are up dramatically. Global sales of SUVs have recovered. SUVs are going green. We have acquired a capability through REWA to make our products even greener. So I enjoy the skepticism, because that's one of the challenges, to prove the doubters wrong. First of all, let me clarify that when they say 2 to 3% market share in South Korea, that's in the automotive industry as a whole. And as we told you, our targets, whether it's in South Korea or anywhere in the world, is on the utility vehicle space. So on the utility vehicle space, they have a market share of 14%. And historically, at their peak, before their challenges began, they had a historical market share of almost 25% of the utility vehicle industry in Korea. So that's an interesting heritage to go after. I'm sure that we can, one of our goals will be to try and restore some of that historical market share that they had in Korea. But as I said right in the beginning, our goal with Ssangyoung is not to penetrate the Korean market. It is to become a major player in the global SUV market. And I won't repeat myself, but those are the things we think Ssangyoung brings to the table. Together, I think we should be able to get to our ambition much faster than if we were separate. Nothing is done till it's done, but the question is that there is a due diligence process that has to be undergone. I have to say that the authorities in Korea that handled this sale have done a very good job of making it extremely transparent. However, there is a due diligence. Personally, I am not aware of anything major that might turn up during the due diligence. But as far as I'm concerned, until the ink is dry on the agreement, we cannot say the deal is done. The unions have been very cooperative throughout this entire process. I think they've understood that they have one shot at really restoring this company to its glory. The people who are running the company during this rehab process have done an extremely good job of managing the union. So far, we have received nothing that would indicate to us that the unions would not be positive about our coming in, and so I do not foresee any problem on that front. I am not sure whether you meant equity dilution in Mahindra. In Mahindra, no, we are not anticipating at this point any equity dilution at all, given our very, very comfortable debt equity position and our cash reserves. So therefore, we do not anticipate having to dilute any equity or raise any equity to fund this investment. As far as the structure in Ssangyoung is concerned, yes, there will be provision for a certain amount of debt, but we are under a constraint right now not to reveal anything about the structure that we have proposed. Unfortunately, those are the terms of the bid. The Ssangyoung deal is not going to have any implications for the promoter stake in Mahindra at this point. We have yet to go in there and really engage with the senior management and understand their prospective product plans on a very, very minute basis. So it's far too early to talk about that. As you know, Tata's have been in the saddle in Land Rover for a while. So it'll take a while before I can come back to you and reveal anything about how we are going to coordinate and align our global product plans in the future. You know, we have our eyes always scanning the horizon for opportunities, but we don't go after acquisitions as a way of life or as an end in themselves. What we are doing is looking at refining our strategies within each sector and then deciding whether that strategy does call for inorganic growth. If it does, and if inorganic growth and investments and acquisitions are a way of accelerating your progress towards your strategic goals, then we will look at them. So you're going to constantly hear of them, but it's not as if we have suddenly decided that we are going to do X number of acquisitions here. That's not the way plans are made with us. We actually withdrew from the bidding, if you go back over the history, because and for a variety of reasons, and as I said, I don't think there's any point in going over it, but we had some very clear reasons why we decided not to proceed with the bid. So there was no question of a missed opportunity. We are still extremely comfortable within ourselves that we made the right decision to withdraw from that bid. Well, first of all, I think we have said very clearly that the company will be kept as an independent company. We understand its unique position in South Korea and how proud the South Koreans are of their homegrown companies. We fully intend to find a local chief executive to run the company. And so we think that what we need to provide is financial stability. It has suffered a lot from great instability of ownership in the past few years, which has hampered its growth. We want to try and provide some strategic support in terms of its plans globally. We also believe that we do bring a lot of technology benefits to Ssangyoung in terms of our specific engine developments, and particularly recently with the acquisition of Rewa. So those are the kinds of synergies we're going to exploit. Otherwise, the company will be kept separate. As far as the revenue upside, it's a listed company in South Korea, so you have access to data. At its peak, it was well over $2.5 billion in revenue. We hope to get it back to that level. That's what it would add to the group. But I would not lump them together with the Mahindra and Mahindra revenues at this point. It will simply be an addition to overall group revenues.